Gentlemen, to another episode of Under Pressure. I am your host, Nick Presto. Joining alongside me, I have Evan and Ben. And for this episode, we will be mainly focusing on the NBA All-Star Game and all the festivities that happened with it this past weekend. So guys, let's jump on into it with the beginning of the festivities. We had the Rising Stars Challenge, the Slam Dunk Contest, the three-point contest, even, the celebrity game, which was fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's only right that we started off with the best event from this past weekend. I think everyone can agree.
Yeah, the Clorox Challenge.
The Clorox Clutch Challenge. Ben, I want to start it off with you. How do you feel about the Slam Dunk Contest this year?
Oh, do not get me started. I think this is some of the worst basketball that I had ever seen in my entire life. You have Jalen Green. You have all these guys that are like, we're going to come out and we're going to do these things that nobody's ever seen before. Jalen Green comes out and does it off the side of the backboard in between his legs to try and dunk it. And it takes him 10 tries. Like, what are you doing?
They showed Shaq on the sidelines.
Shaq, you know the infamous meme. Shaq's got like the, he's got the video camera.
Yeah.
And then you put it side by side with this. I literally did not want to watch it. I mean, I think for me, the worst part had to be when Cole Anthony put on Tim's. Like, how corny you gotta get. Like, he's representing his dad. He's gonna put on Tim's. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, at that point, it was just a participation trophy for Obi Toppin. I mean, I could have won the dunk contest if I was in it.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
I'm 5'7".
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard if you're in the NBA to at least put on a semi-creative dunk. And, congratulations for Obi Toppin for getting the participation trophy of the year. I will say people are blaming Dwayne Wade for this.
I was going to actually lead that into another point later into the segment.
Yeah.
If the 2016 dunk contest at the bar too high.
No. I'm talking about the 2019 one Dwayne Wade ruined.
Oh, when Dwayne
because
Wade
if,
robbed
let's say Aaron Gordon wins 2019, maybe he's in this and he wants to defend his title. And we don't have to see Juan Toscano Anderson in it. Like, who wants to see him in it?
I think Clorox sponsored the wrong part of All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, we need to clean that out of existence.
Yeah.
You wanted to pour it in your mouth, pour it on your eyes, everything.
So Evan, what'd you think of the dunk contest?
I thought it was pretty awful too. You had so much anticipation going into it because you're like, I want to see what these guys break out because obviously dunking is like one of the better parts of the game. And then Obi Toppin wins on like a layup at the end.
It almost was like a layup. He tried to touch it off the glass and then throw it right in, but it kind of slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, they kept saying like, he didn't flush it in. I'm like, that's the whole point of a dunk is flushing it in, not like just getting it over the edge. Like, I can just get it over the edge.
Yeah, no, I was really not happy with that slam dunk contest. But yeah, I was going to say now, do you think 2016's dunk contest, or even that year with Dwayne Wade robbing Aaron Gordon against Derrick Jones Jr.?
He didn't rob him, but I'm just saying people accuse him of robbing him.
Aaron Gordon dunked over Taco Fall.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't fully clear him.
He dunked over 7'5" Taco Fall.
Yeah, and he pushed off his shoulder.
We have a resident Miami Heat fan,
He still jumped over Taco Fall.
Yeah, but he pushed off his shoulder.
Anyway, do you guys, Evan, I'll start with you. Do you think those dunk contests really set the bar way too high and then we might not see anything close to that?
Yeah, I mean, those were back in the days when you had like Blake Griffin and then you had, of course, Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. Those were like top players on their team that were actually invested in going into the dunk contest. Now we just have like bench warmers, like he was saying, Juan Toscano Anderson.
Who wants to see Juan Toscano Anderson in
The
this?
Juan Toscano Anderson hate is real, I guess.
It's like nobody really wants to see, like Gerald Green, I'd take him back in a minute to have him dunk again. Or some of these other guys. There was a few other guys in the past few years that were actually decent but were bench warmers. But these guys this year were just awful. I think they thought they were going to be good, but they were terrible.
Ben, what do you think? Do you think the bar was set way too high with those dunk contests?
I don't think the bar was set too high. I just think that at this point, it is pretty hard to get creative. And I've seen, people like say they want street ballers to do the dunk contest because they actually care. And for the headliner of this, dunk contest to be Obi Toppin, I think there's a huge problem with the dunk contest format right now. If Obi Toppin is highlighting, this All-Star Weekend dunk contest, if he's highlighting, there's a major issue and it needs a complete revamp.
Or they need to
agree.
rearrange it so you end your night on a high instead of ending your night on the low. Because there was some other
Start
stuff
with-
in All-Star Weekend that was actually pretty decent.
Start with a slam dunk contest on Saturday
Yeah.
night instead of ending with it.
Yep.
But let's get on into the other major contest now. We have the three-point contest, which actually turned out to be a pretty great event with a very surprising winner that nobody thought was going to win it, Karl Anthony Towns, who, for the bettors out there, was actually the biggest underdog on the slate for that contest. So if you cashed out on him, probably get a good payout. What did you guys think of the three-point contest? Evan?
I mean, I'm not going to say I foresaw this, but when I was watching Inside the NBA, they were saying that the big difference Karl Anthony Towns had over the other guys is he doesn't really jump in his jump shot.
Yeah,
he just takes like a place shot.
Yeah.
And that's like key in this the three-point contest because you can't really jump, otherwise you're going to be wasting so much time.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good point, and that could be a key to why he won.
For
Ben?
me, I loved it. I mean, Kennard was the favorite. Kennard was expected to win. There was great other favorites like, CJ McCollum, but Karl
Trae
Anthony
Young.
Towns had his mom's necklace on.
Yeah.
The NBA let him, break the exception because the rule is you can't wear jewelry in the NBA.
Yeah.
They let him wear it. His mom was with him during it, and cashed out 29 in the last round. So I'm really happy for him. He's one of the most underappreciated centers, not only of this generation but of all time. As this proves he's
Yeah.
one of the best three-point shooting centers
I think
to
he
ever
is
play.
the best.
No, and that's a discussion for another time. But
Yeah.
I think just his skill at the three-point line as a center, as like over 7 foot,
Yeah.
is just outstanding. And I couldn't be more happy for Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, no, he definitely deserved that, especially with wearing the jewelry. Like, that was a really strong moment, very symbolic. So I was happy the NBA let him do that. And it gave him the power to win.
Yep.
So,
Not to
Cat, in
mention,
my
wasn't
opinion,
Minnesota, didn't Kevin Love, wasn't he the
Yes,
last
Kevin
big
Love
guy to
was
win
the
it?
last
So it's got like
person-
the Minnesota connection going on
exactly. Yeah, Kevin Love was the last big man to win it, and ironically, it was also Minnesota. So now
Yeah.
they're the only big men to win, and they're both Minnesota.
there. Yeah.
So real quick, before we wrap up, I wanted to get into the Rising Stars Challenge, which was great. Team Barry won it. It was a great performance all around. I really liked that format with how they used the NBA 75. But also, I wanted to touch on the celebrity game.
Oh, I
the
love the
celebrity
celebrity
game
game.
was great.
Yeah.
Ben, you want to start it
All
off
right,
with
I
that?
have two things. One, MGK should never touch a basketball again. Like we were joking around before, we started recording. He's like that 2K player that you make, and you spend all your VC on tattoos,
Yeah.
but not on the skill. Because he was god awful.
Yep.
There was this one shot he had. He tried to do like a Dirk fadeaway, complete airball. I think it was it was more close to the opponent's,
Yeah.
basket than his own.
Oh my
And then I
gosh.
also have one more thing to add. Miles Garrett should have been in the dunk contest because Miles Garrett is better than Obi Toppin.
Yes,
he's better
he
than
is.
Twiska.
He can
He's
dunk
better than
better than
Anderson.
Obi
He's
Toppin.
better than Jalen Green. Miles Garrett should be in the NBA. He should be a dual athlete.
He's a freak of nature.
He's a freak in nature. He should have been in the dunk contest because I enjoyed his play more than the Obi Toppin.
Adam
Evan?
Silver's got to get that arranged. I also liked Gianmarco Tamburdi, who's the high jumper
Yeah.
from Italy, I believe.
Yep.
And he won a medal in the Olympics, and he made an insane putback dunk too.
That
So I
got
think
the
those
whole
two
crowd
guys
going.
would have done a better dunk contest than
No,
what
they
we
would
had
have.
this
Probably.
They would have
So, yeah.
because I'd rather watch him than Cole Anthony wearing Timbs. That's the last thing I want to see. That's the corniest thing on earth.
year.
Well, the All-Star game, the weekend did have a lot of fun festivities, some bad moments with the slam dunk contest, but
A lot of bad
overall,
moments.
it was a good start before the actual game on Sunday night, which we'll be talking about a little later in the show, so stay tuned for more.